Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Robert. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Who we got here today? We got a whole bunch of people here today. Oh, nice. Got a good little crowd going on here today. Let's go ahead and start off with what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going over Command 201. We're into the twos now. And we're going to be talking about Facebook business pages. The first things I'm going to walk you through today is, what the requirements are and what are the things that we need to do. And then we're going to start going actually into Facebook and building one. So how's everybody doing? Everybody good? You can give me a little thumbs up there and just say hi to me. Let me know you're alive.
Well, maybe.
All right. Good to have you here. Okay, well, I'm Robert Vincent. I don't know if all of you know me yet. I am the the Market Center Technical Trainer here at KWCLM, which is Coastal Lakes and Mountains Realty. And I've been here today is my 1 year anniversary, interestingly enough. So I stuck it out for a year. We'll see what happens. You guys be nice to me if you want me to stick around and be here tomorrow. That's what I'm just saying that. So we're going to be, like I said, we're going over the Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this little page here to show you today's topics. We're going to do some preparation stuff to get us ready for it because there's some things we got to do to make sure, thank you very much, to make sure we get things right the first time. Facebook can be a little bit finicky sometimes, so we're going to make sure that we get things going the right way. And then we're going to create that business page in Facebook. And then once we're in there, I'm going to show you how to build and promote that page. And by build, I mean add things to it and get things going. And I'll be using one of my pages as an example. I create them by the dozens here nowadays. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, first of all, Command, because we're actually going to start there. We're going to start in Command because we need to look at the settings in Command to be able to make sure that things are dialed in. So question for you, you can do me a little thumbs up in the video there, or if you want to put it in the chat for me, that'd be fine too. I want to know how many of you have a personal Facebook business page as of right now. And the answer would be surprisingly, not all of you may. So if you have a Facebook business page, give me a little thumbs up there. Not business page, a personal page. Personal page. Okay, yes? Yeah? I'm not seeing thumbs or waves or anything. I'm not seeing nothing. No? Okay, so if you got a no, give me a thumbs down. So no's a thumbs down. Okay, if you do not have a personal Facebook business page, you will have to do that. And that is because you are not able through Facebook. This has nothing to do with Keller Williams. You cannot create a business Facebook page that is standalone. You have to go through a personal page. And when we're talking about pages, we're not talking about corporate website, like corporate entities, because they have a different thing going on. But for a business page, for normal mortals like us, Facebook requires you to have a personal page. And when we think about that, you may not want to use a Facebook business page. Or Facebook personal page. I kind of didn't want to myself. I'd been on Facebook since the beginning, and I kind of left it for a bunch of years, and then came back because we needed to do these classes, and I needed to show you guys how to use it. So that is something that you will need to do, is get yourself a personal page. Once that's done, then you can actually build your business page. Now, let's take a look in the Command settings here for a moment, because as I said, we actually have to start here to understand what it is that we're going to be doing. Let's take a look in the Command Facebook settings here for a moment, because as I said, we got some echoes going on here. I'm going to mute a couple of you, and if you need to chat with me, feel free to unmute, but we got some echoes going on. So we're going to go over to the settings area, not to the profile area, but into the settings area of Command. And when we do that, you'll see down here, and mine are already connected, but we'll talk about this as we go. There are two types of connections that we can make in Command to Facebook. One of them is for post scheduling. Now, post scheduling is exactly as if you had gone to Command and to Facebook and just typed something in a post and posted it. The difference is you can actually do that through command here on a schedule. You can use the designs. You can use all sorts of fancy stuff to make post schedules work. And those are always free through you, as like I said, literally as if you went to Facebook and did a post. So those are connected, and you'll see here that when I'll click my manage, it's connected to my real Facebook account, but it's looking at my business page. So you have to have the root account in order to do this, but you'll be connecting it to your business page, okay? The other thing is, and the next one down the line here, is Facebook Ads Manager. And this is paid ads. Now, this is obviously optional. You don't have to buy anything through Facebook, whether it be directly through Facebook or through our system to go to Facebook. But if you want to use the Facebook Ads Manager to purchase ads on Facebook using our tools, you will need to connect that once again to your Facebook business account. So if you are trying to connect them and you're like not seeing anything, if you click this connect button and it doesn't connect anything, it's because there's no business page to connect to. All right. So those two things there are going to be the results of what we're doing. But I want you to be aware of something very, very important. When you purchase an ad on Facebook, you are not purchasing it to run on your business page, your Facebook business page. It doesn't do that. That would be the equivalent of a post. So you could post on your page, but you're not going to be seeing your ads on your business page. They go out based on the criteria that you select for not only where it goes in terms of demographics and geography, but who it goes out to. You can actually kind of narrow it down to say, I want to send this out to people who are into golfing in the Portsmouth area, 25 miles around this zip code. No problem. But you're not going to see it on your Facebook business page. It has happened where people see it on their personal pages. It kind of pops up in the feed. And so it becomes like an impression on your personal page. And I've seen that happen before. But it most likely will go to your sphere, people that you have in your friends and network. And it kind of looks at that first and says, how can we maximize this advertising around this, and taking into consideration the parameters that you set for what the people you want to reach. So we'll go over some of those things, but the posts themselves, the free posts and the purchase of ads are all connected to your business page. Posts are to your business page, ads are to where the region or the area that you're going to. Okay. Any questions on that before we get started here on going to Facebook? Okay. All right. Got no questions up on that side. Got no questions over here. Let me quickly connect to one thing over here. That's funny. Okay, there's that. Okay, I'll be right with you there, you guys. All right, that looks a little bit more like what I expected. Okay. Sorry about this. Just getting all my screens organized so that I can show you what I need to show you. All right. Okay, so we'll head on over to Facebook. Now, Facebook is our Facebook group. If you haven't gone into this, is facebook.com/groups/KWCLM, and that's actually where we are right now. I'll get a little bit of a. This is what the class that we're doing right now here. Now, this page, when I go to Facebook, go to the group, is not my home page. This is the group page. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go show you my Facebook account as if it was your Facebook account, just kind of straight in where we land. And where we land is we land on our Facebook feed. Now, the Facebook feed would be the equivalent of that little blue Facebook icon up in the top left corner of the page when you load it. Now, keep in mind, too, that a lot of people, as a matter of fact, I think Alana in marketing said that something around the percentage of 85 to 90% of people do not visit Facebook on computers. They visited them on mobile. But you'll want to do what we're doing here from your device, from your computer. You can do this on mobile, but I strongly urge you to do it on your desktop, because you're going to have all these tools that we're going to use on the left-hand side. Now, one of the things that does tend to happen in Facebook is if you don't see all of those tools, you may have to widen your screen. And I'm gonna make my screen a little bit smaller so you can see what happens. If it's too small, the left panel does not get visible, so you may have to make it wide enough to be able to see the whole screen there. Okay, so now that we're here, again, we're on the Facebook feed. This is where your daily, feed of all the different things that you're involved in comes across. This we don't need. We don't want this right now. What we want to do is we want to go to take a look. I'll show you. I'll take a look. Have you take a look. This is my personal page, which is connected to command, and that's how I'm able to do this. But the pages that I'm actually using are under pages. Now, if you don't see this when you're logging in, you can search Facebook for pages, and you can kind of get to this little section here. Now, when I click on pages, if you've already created any pages, you're going to see them here just like you see them on mine. And I've created some gibberish pages here. Facebook class on 921. We did the same class on 921. And you can delete these and get rid of them. However, I've got a real page here that's got 122 followers and 106 likes. I'm really cranking right along here. This is specifically not only to demonstrate what we're doing here right now, but it also is to demonstrate how you can kind of market it and manage it and build it. So I'm going to open up this business page, and it says Robert Vincent, MCTT. Notice that the title here includes Keller Williams Coastal Lakes and Mountains Realty. You will have to go through a process with compliance to make sure that what you put on your page is as acceptable and passable for what they recommend. So all Facebook pages are subject to compliance review and approval. Now, on this page, I still get a left-hand kind of a menu system here that allows me to manage the page. And on this page, it's going to tell you, like connect with people first and all this stuff. I'm going to give you guys right now the super duper tech tip that's going to save you tons of time later. I'm always asked this: how do I see my business page like other people see it, like people who are not me and logged in as the administrator? What does it look like when it's not flooded with all this Facebook stuff talking to me as the owner? And the very simple answer is over on the right hand side. In my case, it's under edit, send email. It's off to the side of promote here. There's my little icon which matches my profile. Okay, this little icon, when you drop it down, it's going to say, how do you want to interact with this page? There's the default, which is the administrator of the page. When you create the page, you're the administrator of the page. And now I can view it as an outsider. And in this case, Robert Vincent, just generic good old Robert who has a Facebook account, I can look at it through his eyes. So when I click this, you'll notice that it gets rid of the sidebar, and it just shows me as if I was visiting the page from outside of the administrative side. So my page looks like this. I've got a banner across the top that is matched up graphically, size-wise, everything, so that it fits right in here. And we're going to talk about the scaling and the size. I've got a profile icon here that I created using Canva, real simple tool. And I just made it a little simple circle with our logo, and that's it. I also have an @ username that I selected. And this basically means that when I want people to visit my page, I don't have to worry about telling them to go search for me or telling them to look up Market Center Technical Trainer at Keller Williams. All I have to do is say, go to facebook.com/@MCTT463, Market Center Technical Trainer for 463. And you can actually see it in the address bar up here. It says facebook.com/MCTT463. I'm sorry, don't use the @ symbol. And then it will take you here. All right. As a matter of fact, let me double check if it's the @ symbol or not. Let's put that in there and see what happens. Oh yeah, you don't do it with, yeah, tell them to use it without the @ symbol. And that will take them to this. Okay. And again, I'll switch back over to managing it as me. And we're good to go. So that in there, plus the real estate, which is my category, and we're going to go all through this to show you how I created all these different things. You can also control what the menu looks like across the top here, what's visible, what's not, and what's on the more. So you have control over all of that. There's also an option to have, what does this button say? This is called the call to action button. So you have choices. Mine in this case says send email, and that was the easiest for me. Of course, you're familiar with the rest of this, the creating a post and your posts on the right. On the left-hand side, you have the about section with who likes your page and all of your links and all of your information. This about section should be pretty robust. And you see here that I put as much in there as I can possibly put in here. The hours, I work 9 to 5, so I got all that in here. The address for where you can go to meet and look at my website and all this stuff. So all the links that I need to have are over here. As we move down, there's some things here. Is this the right number for this place? You can look at that. There's photos, videos, all that stuff, and you can control that. And then I want to talk about the very bottom on the left-hand side before we get into building the page. And that is where it says page transparency. The page transparency tells you when the page was created, and it gives you information about the person behind this. When you click on see all, it's going to tell you all of the information about this page, and it will tell you whether this page is running ads or not. Little caveat here, where it says this page is not currently running ads, it's always going to say that. Back when I started, when you would do the page transparency, it would actually show you the ads that you had posted from command onto your Facebook page, like not on the page, but that what you were responsible for. And they've done away with that because they want you to use Facebook's ad manager, which is the ad library. Now you can do this. You can bypass command and just purchase your advertising directly on Facebook. You can absolutely do that. But just be aware, there are some tools that I'm going to show you today that this process doesn't necessarily bring you back the leads the way that is best for command. So while you can do this, I do recommend that you follow the tools and the processes that we're going to go over today. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to get that information from people who visit your page. Okay, so we're going to build this now. Now, there's a couple of prerequisites in terms of the image sizes and what we need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here Facebook image sizes 2021. And you can do this as well. And right here, Facebook profile picture, cover photo size, link size, image post, highlighted image, event size, group cover image. Okay. These are really, really important. If you don't make the images for these different parts of the Facebook page just right, then they're going to look terrible, and they're just not going to do a good job at building your business. For example, this top image up here, this was created, again, I created in Canva going with what Facebook said was the business, the business page requirements. So when I did that, I just made sure that I put the sizing in there. But I want you to notice something. I'm going to refresh this page, and I want you to watch what happens to the banner. When I click refresh on the page, and I move my mouse away, I didn't touch anything, you'll notice that the page cuts off the banner. It actually starts the page down here. And this is something that even if you go to our Facebook business, our group, so if I go in here and I load up the KW group here, see, it's actually cutting it off. So it quickly put it in there, and then it slid down to show you less and kind of cut it off. So a lot of times what you're going to see is people will put the meat of the information that they want available to the viewer at the very bottom. so that you can see it. But here's the thing. Don't do it. Because on mobile, that gets cut off at the bottom. So let's take another look at one more thing here. Facebook, banner, crop size. Okay, so this image right here, and I'm going to bring this up and show it to you. This image tells you what is called the safe area. I'll see if I can get that to, I'll just open this in another tab. There we go. There. It gives you the safe area. And the safe area is this picture with the little mountain in it. All of this other stuff ends up getting cropped off. So if you try to put some text in here or links or images or something that is important to you and you end up outside of this safe zone, it's going to get lost. So this page here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send you a link in the chat to this. There. So you can click on that and view that image and kind of use that as a guide. Let's see, is that gonna, that page is not going to refresh. There we go. And I'm going to send you this as well. And you can look at that and get that for you. So this shows you all of those sizes, all of the things, where they get cut off and how it works. It tells you about what happens on the mobile. And so you can see here, just that mountain image here is visible out of that entire thing. Just
question. So I noticed there that when you pulled it up before and on Google, we were seeing that the image size for Facebook is 820 by 312. That is 820 by 360.
I think I've had that problem a couple of times, but if I go with the 360, usually it works best. This little, which one here? The first one.
I mean, I know it's just going to auto scale it down.
It's going to, this one here is blah, blah, blah. 820, 312. Let's see, who's that? Yeah, 2021 PSD Charles. You know, actually go with this one. Go with this one here because that one's probably going to be, this might be a little bit older, but the cropping is still going to be the same. It's 90 per side and 24 on top and bottom. So go with the one that's in this page here. Where did I say this? This one. Let me go ahead and I'm going to bring you that page here. I'll put that in there. And to be honest with you, Facebook changes this around every once in a while. That's why I keep on putting in 20.
Yeah, no, I just want to double check, make sure for the other people in here that were.
Yeah. Good catch. All right, so where are we? So just keep that in mind as you're building your page banner. The same thing when you're going to go with the individual sizes for the cover photo, or not the cover photo, your profile picture. All right, so all of that stuff matters, and when you're building the page, and we want to get that right. Now, I'm going to build a page here. I'm going to build another page. I'm just going to use the same images. So for mine, it's going to look really cool. It just kind of slides right in there. And I'll check these sizes for you, Nathan, to see what I ended up using to get this in here like this, because they're on my hard drive right now. So I'll just be able to put them in there for you. Okay. All right, so building the page. Starting back at your Facebook feed here, and if you go down to pages, and if you want to play along, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can watch this video later on YouTube, or you can watch it on Facebook and kind of slow it down and take a look at it as we build through. So we start with, on your pages section here, we click on create a new page. So when we do that, it's going to end up giving us just this shell template, and it's going to have the page name and the category. And as you build it on the left-hand side, it's going to fill it out on the right-hand side. In addition, if you are really designing this for most people's viewing, you can actually select over here at the top of the profile image to view the page as you build it as a mobile. So that's a kind of neat little trick to make sure that you're seeing what people are going to end up seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on desktop for right now, and I'm going to put in my page name. So this is going to be class page, and today is the, what is the, oh my gosh, what is today? 26, 10, 26, 21. Okay, see, it's automatically typing it in as we go. Category is required. Now, when you go into the category on the left-hand side, it's going to drop down, but all you have to do is start typing. And if you type in real estate, you can actually see that there's a bunch of different ones for real estate. So with compliance in mind, I'm going to go ahead and select real estate agent, and you can select up to 3 categories. So I'll select real estate agent, real estate, and I'm just going to select one more time, real estate company. Now, none of this I'm telling you to do. I'm just letting you know that these categories are available. Check with compliance on which ones you should be using. Now, in the description section, our lorem, you can put up to 255 characters. Now, I just put some gibberish Latin text in here so that you can actually see this as we build, but you would want to put something in here valid about your business, about you, and about why this page is here. I want to help you, buy your house and sell your house and all that. Now, you'll notice that when I do this, not all of the information that I just put in here, well, actually it is in here. It's on the bottom in the about section, but we've got more to go. So there's a lot to do here. But it's all we have right now on the left-hand side. That's the maximum that we can do. If we hit create page now, it's going to create that shell, and it's going to open up a whole new set of options to build the rest of our page. When it finally goes. Was created. There we go. So now when we see it, it loads up and it allows us to scroll down a little bit further. And here's where we can add our profile picture and our cover photo. All right. So I'm going to open up my little Finder window on the side here. I'm going to go find both of those little guys. And so you know what? I'll look at this. My top image, my banner image, the size is 820 by 360. So this image is 820 by 360. Oops, I put in the wrong one. Oh, my bad. Throw that away on the right. This image is 820 by 360. And that's what's on my drive. Now notice, look at this. You got to scroll up to see the whole thing. All right. And the profile picture, my profile picture is 500 by 500. I made mine square to fit in here and put the profile picture in, and it came out like that. Okay. So that's how I just dropped them in there. I pulled them in from a little folder that I had on my desktop. Okay. And you know what's really cool about this is, have any of you used Photoshop, Canva, or any graphic design tools? Okay. In Canva specifically, or Photoshop, I use a template. And I'm always changing things up, right? So I can create as whatever I want. And then when you're viewing your page, you can just drop a new image in there so easily without having to go through the hassle of building a new one from scratch. Just make a Canva template, a Photoshop template, and you're good to go. Okay, so now that's all we can do in the left-hand side. Again, it's limited us to just 2 options, and we still have so many more things that we need to fill out. So we'll hit save, and it's going to put those 2 things in there. All right, so it's going to come up here, and it's going to say connect your Facebook to WhatsApp. Don't do this even if you use WhatsApp. Don't do it right now. They try to get you to start doing all of these connections to your people and to your sphere and all that, but your page really isn't built yet. Your page is still just a shell. So even if you're tempted to do this, just wait. We can do that later on. You want to build things out a little bit better first. And it says, are you sure you want to leave? It's like, yes, I don't want to show anybody this yet. There's nothing here. So we're going to go ahead and leave, and it takes us to our page, and it's got everything ready for us to go. Now, when we look at this, the first thing that here it says is add more information, which is what we're going to do. And this is going to keep harping on us until we get pretty much the whole page built out. I'm going to close it for now. Next thing it says is access all your business tools in one place. I love this. Facebook has built a business suite that allows you to manage this page and your other pages that you own in one business-centric environment. And I'm actually going to leave this page and go to the business suite to show you what it looks like. Because although we're going to go back and build the page, this is where you want to go when you want to start to manage the page. creating posts. It's a much more elegant business way of creating posts on these pages. Not only that, if you connect Instagram to the page, you can build both of these posts at the same time. For Instagram, for Facebook, you can put the images in there, and you only have to do it once, and it builds it across. So building posts is very, very easy. Now, the other thing that's here is I'm going to show you my other page as a business management, just so, because there's more on it. So here we have, like on the inbox, we can see what's going on and follow all of the things in the responses, the things that have been happening, comments, Facebook, Instagram chat, direct, all these things. And we can also look at all of the posts and stories that are on this page and get engagement information. So we can find what's working and what's not. So if I slide down through here and I go, well, I got a couple of posts here. I've got a fairly kind of even number, 5, 3, 8, well, 3. Why didn't people want to see that one? Maybe there was a way that I could have worded information better, or maybe I just need to repost it. Maybe it was a bad time. 0 engagements. So this business page, this business tool really can help you understand what's going on with the page. And boosts are available. This is a paid service, and I've read probably 20 or 30 different reviews of this tool, and pretty much everybody says don't pay Facebook to boost a post. So I'll leave you with that if you want to do your own homework on that. I wouldn't recommend it. But Facebook tries to sell you these extra things. It's cheap and it feels like, oh, that's just nothing, so I'll just do that. If you end up finding that it works for you, go for it. That's great. But again, taking a look at all the different things here, you can schedule all of your posts across multiple days, multiple weeks, multiple months. You can do all sorts of stuff here. Again, from the business suite. So how do we get there? Well, once we're in the page, we will have access to the business suite on the left-hand side, but right now in the beginning, it's going to be here. Take some time, learn that tool, and you will find that this page management will be so much easier and more elegant. It feels like you're running a business rather than just posting on a Facebook page when you do that. Okay. So on the left is this is another wizard where it's going to say, hey, let's keep going here. Let's keep on moving through. You have one step left on establishing your page identity. So we added a profile picture, that there is done. We have create a page name, that is done. Category, all that. We have providing info and preferences. And once again, I'm going to open up that other, my other business page to show you how much information is really available in there and what we can do with it. So go to pages. Open this one up, which is going to look exactly the same, to be honest. So adding chat to your website, no thank you. There's your business little link right there. So all of this stuff that is on the left-hand side, I'll view it here as a visitor. All of this stuff, we want to get that dialed in so that this appears when people are looking at our page. So to do that, we're going to start with adding a website. We can go ahead and click on more, save and finish later. Doesn't apply, but we're going to click add a website. So in this case, I'll just put in one, and now we have a website. Okay, so you'll get the little green check after you put something in there, and it's an accepted value, and you can just go ahead and close it. All right, and then you can keep on going through, adding business hours. No hours available, always open. Please don't do that. You'll get phone calls from crazies in the middle of the night. So no hours available, or you can actually select your set hours. Okay. Adding a phone number. If you're going to do this, I'll lean back and I'll ask you this question. How many of you are using your personal phone for your business purposes? Little show of hands. Okay. All right. If that's the case, do you really plan to put your personal phone as your business phone on your Facebook business page? That's a tough one. So your option here is to go 603 610-8500. You'll get the phone call because that's the main office. So you'll get it. If you're using your personal page, that's fine. You can do that. But I do recommend. Let's try that again. I was about to put a different phone number in there. There we go. All right. Got the phone number in there. All right. So we can go down through and do this. Now, this is kind of tedious, though. You notice that I'm doing kind of one thing at a time down here. And then finally gets into the friends. Don't do that. Create ads.
So
Don't
out
do that.
of curiosity on the phone number there, how many people do you think just kind of hang up when they get this help desk? Hi, this is Keller Williams on their phone.
Well, the
Do you think you lose many leads because of that?
And that's a really hard question for me to answer. It's kind of a concierge service is the way it's treated. So they're calling Keller Williams, and it's an office phone line. I hope that nobody's hanging up, but I would say that you're probably right that does happen. The alternative to that is I use a Google number. So the Google
Yeah, I
number.
mean, I've got 3 phone numbers on this thing, so
Perfect. So using one of those as your business line. So Nathan, I wouldn't say that the number of people that hang up, I would not say it's 0. It's a non-zero number. But I would hope that that the people who answer the phone, we got in Helen, and we've got
Jen.
Who what?
Jen.
Well, Jen answers. Well, yeah, Jen answers the phone sometimes. Sure.
Yeah.
Katie, is it Katie up in Wolfboro? She also answers the phone.
And Colin answers also.
Yep, Colin. Yep. So hopefully they're.
Yeah. So let me interrupt a little bit. So the trouble comes on weekends, holidays, and when you're closed. So when you call that 8500 number and try it, if you're an agent, I've been trying it for years. You'll go into the spinning, try and find by name, by number, and you're lost there. You may go to it may prompt you to how they say it, general recording or general messaging.
Yeah.
You're never going to get it. So I can't think that we've lost much by that, because when it's open and somebody calls on if somebody calls the market center from my sign, they send it right to me. It goes right to me wherever as long as we're open.
As long as we're open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're using the office number, because we have to have the office number on the sides. But is there a secondary phone number you can put on?
I use both on the signs, of course.
Yeah, both of them are available on the sides. Yeah.
On my business Facebook page, I have my personal number is my business number, and I don't think I get any calls off it anyway. At the end of the day, maybe sales calls from other agencies or lead generating things. But I don't.
That makes sense too. How many people are actually going to Facebook to get the phone number? So.
And especially if you're a salesperson and you want to talk to real estate agents, and there's their number, so hey, you're just gonna call them.
Yeah.
So, good point there.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, there's always considerations, but at the end of the day, if you put a number in there, and you do end up receiving calls, it doesn't. There's nothing that's gonna flag it. That it's coming from Facebook, so that's kind of a bummer too. Not that it's impossible. So.
If the front desk forwards a call to an agent, your phone will say Market Center 463, and you won't have a phone number where it's coming from. That's okay. You know that. You just ask the caller and go ahead and get the number because it came from my service. The second way to do that is if you hang up without getting the number, if you immediately call the front desk back and say, hey, you just forwarded me a call, they'll have the number and time on their log.
Oh, nice.
So you'll never lose a number that they forwarded to you, but you won't see it on your phone. So,
That is good to know. Okay. So we've done a little bit here, but instead of going through this one by one, which can be a little bit kind of, I find it just a pain in the butt. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here on the left-hand side, and we're going to do some fine tuning of this page. And you can see that now we have another new menu. You got to keep your eye on this because there's a lot of things that are in here. So the first thing we're going to do is slide all the way down to the bottom to settings. And when we click settings on this left-hand side, we're going to get another new menu of a whole bunch of stuff. And the one that I'm headed for here is Instagram, because I'm asked this more often than any question on setting up a Facebook page. How do I connect my Instagram to my Facebook page? And if you just do what I said, when you go in and do your editing of your page, click the bottom settings and then scroll down again about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way, and you're going to see Instagram. And when you get that, you can connect your Instagram account to your Facebook page, giving you that business suite of tools where you can do those posts across. So it's very, very simple. You're basically just going to log into Instagram from here and connect that account. Now, my other page here is already connected. So if I come into this and show it to you, let's see, we'll go as administrator. And I'll do the same thing. The page, slide down to the bottom, click on settings, and you can always adjust this later and go to Instagram. And this is what it looks like when it's set up after you've connected it. It shows you all the information that you've put in, including if you have a link tree, it shows you that as well. So it's got all the information here that you've put in there. Okay. And yes, all of this information for me, I set up a business Instagram page. I have the business numbers and the business information here. So because I'm basically using this as demonstration purposes and I'm not a real estate agent, I did everything as if it was just the market center information. So, okay. And then you can set up these other ones here, WhatsApp, and there's a lot of other things to do here. So when you're in the page and starting to really get involved with the page, you have these other tools and you'll definitely want to go through them. But initially, and let's go back to our little page here. But initially, you're going to want to use the Instagram page to get that set up. And a little bit higher here is the page info, where you can do a little bit more, it's a more elegant way of editing. So here is the class name, and we can make our username. Be careful with the username. I mentioned here on mine that it was, the username is at MC4633 or MCTT463. And that's fine and dandy, but you can't always get the username that you're looking for. So you can change it, but I don't think you can change it a lot. You can only change it a couple of times because it changes the URL. So when you find a username that you like, go and use it. Now, is anybody going to actually use that? The reality is, because it's a shortcut, it's like a super duper short name for your business page. I don't know why people aren't using it as much, because I see so many links for people's Facebook business pages coming through, and they're standard like giant links. And it's like, you know what? If you put a username in there and did the username, it would look cool, like me, the real estate agent, or whatever you want to do. And it's a nice thing to kind of use as a mnemonic, something to remember. So here you can adjust your description again. And your categories, so everything's nice and straight down the line here. Here's our contact information. We have the phone number. We can put in a WhatsApp phone number here. My page doesn't have a WhatsApp number. And by doing that, it will disconnect it so that you won't be bothered trying to put it in again. So it'll take it off. And anything that you shut off like that, it's going to take it off the front page. So you're not going to look like you have any blank fields. So if you do see an option like here, my page doesn't have an email. If it doesn't, and you don't want people to email you, then check that radio button there so that it doesn't put a blank space on your page. So I'll go ahead and put mine in here, and I'll click my little checkbox to accept it. And there we go. So now it's got one. Same thing with website here. You will notice that I will show you in a minute how to add additional websites or additional links to your page. And you can see on my page here, when I went back too fast, I want to show you that in the About section on the page as viewed, there are several links. And that's in addition to the default web page that they give you. So you can have several links there. So that's something that you'll definitely want to kind of stick around for here. Okay, location. The location is wonky. I'm not going to lie. When you come in here and you do this, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So like right now, it's trying to find it. The last time I did this, it put me out on the east coast of Africa. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing I can swim. It's not picking it up. Sometimes it picks it up right away. Other times I've actually had to go in here and do what I'm doing now, which is kind of like zoom in and say, I'm over here. And we'll say we're on Lafayette right here. Sure, we'll take it. Additional location details, service areas. So if you have multiple cities around here, please fill that in, because people react to their local name. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm looking for a house in Nottingham, or I'm looking for a house, in XXX. Put that information in here. Make sure that people can see that. Okay. You can select up to 10 neighborhoods, cities, or regions to define. So put that information in there. All right. I did end up putting hours because why not, right? But you can always choose that there's no hours available. And again, it won't post that information on your screen. Temporary service changes are for, let's say you're going to be gone for a month on a sabbatical. You can close it down, temporarily closed for this date to this date. Additional information. Now, this is where if you have a privacy policy, and I do not know what the word impressium means. I can only imagine it's CV or company description. I'm not sure exactly what the word means. I never bothered to look it up. But we can also list our products, which would be the equivalent of, the business, or the types of homes that you sell, residential, commercial. And you get a free QR code. All the things that we've done here so far, they generate automatically a QR code for you. And I can put that right on the page here. And if you were to scan that, it would take you to this page. This is awesome. If you do use QR codes, you can put them on business cards, on stickers, whatever you want to do. And it has a little Facebook logo. If you're looking to generate your own QR code without the Facebook logo in there and just have it as a contact card, QR Monkey, I forget the exact name of it, QR Code Monkey. This is an absolute awesome site, free forever. They don't charge you to store the information and keep the QR code valid. And I'm going to put that in the chat as well, because this week, Alana, the marketing agent here, the marketing person, we worked together and did a class on this. And there are so many different types of QR codes that you can create that it's actually really, really cool. So, for example, if you're doing an open house, you can put a QR code in there that'll pull in the address, the information, and then everything. You can pull in links into a QR code so that when they click the QR code, when they snap it, it'll take them to a web page about the property that they're standing at. It's really cool stuff. So, QR Code Monkey. Throw that in there for you because you get a free one, yes, but there you go. All right. Other accounts. This is for if you want to add additional accounts. This is what I was talking about with some other LinkedIn. You have options to go in with your Spotify account. Obviously, you're probably not going to do this on a business level, but you have these ones that are kind of pre-built so that you can add them to the system. So there are some links that you can do there. Okay. And this is this the one? Let me see my little notes here. Yeah, I think it doesn't even matter that it's Instagram or not. I think you can add the additional links here. So, yep. So you can this is the link spot. Okay. I think there's a total of 5 maximum. Yeah, that's it. Oh, no, 6? Wait a minute. No way, because I only have the ones that they allowed me to put on. Well, holy cow. All right. Keep going until it makes you stop. So all of this is being saved as we go. And there's no save button. That's one thing that kind of throws people off too, is like, where's my save button? It's being saved as you go. All right. So we come back here. We'll go back to the general. We're still in settings, remember. We're still in the settings. Now, this page here is really about all of the things that are normally set for visitors to your page. And I think the only one that there's a profanity filter here. And because it's a business page, you may want to consider turning the profanity filter on just to keep things on the up and up. But by default, that is set to off. So the profanity filter is set to off by default. And again, that's on the general settings here. And you can go through all the things here. If you ever need to remove the page, you can do that here on the bottom of the general settings, and you can delete this page. If you've created a couple of extra pages and you're like, well, I did a couple of trials, but I wish I could merge them together because one has some really good stuff, you can do that. You can merge pages, and you can download all the data from a page. When you do this, it will go through a prompt, and then it may take maybe 15 minutes depending on how much is in there, and you'll get a link to download a file. Okay. So I do recommend you go to that whole page info section there and make sure that you cover everything and get everything in there. You can go through some of these other things here, but generally that's enough to get the settings kind of squared away to begin building your page. So with that, we're going to come over and we're going to talk about building that page. So on the pages area again, here is my pages, and I did a little refresh, you'll notice, because it didn't initially show up. I have found that in most cases that the page, even though you're editing it, it does take about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It's very fast, but sometimes you may have to refresh a page before you actually see it. And so here's our page. And again, not much going on here. I'll refresh it. There we go. And it's still telling me all of the information about managing my page. But again, there's that business suite right there. You don't really need to do a lot with this side here in terms of actually managing it. The business suite is a much, much better way to go. So at this point, let me make it a little wider so that we can see the full width of that there. Make sure that fits in the window. And it kind of does. All right, maybe we'll go like this. There we go. So as you're looking at your page, one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention was when you make a post on a business page, you're posting it as the administrator. So if I come in here and I do something real simple like create post, and I put in hello world. Okay. And I'll even, let's see, do I have an image here? Let's see, I got a picture. Yep. Hello world. I'll put my little profile icon there and just leave it like that. And I'll say, okay, put the post in. Boom. So we've all done this on our personal pages. And what happens is on a personal page, you can then take that post and come down here and click share, and you can share that post to anywhere, to a group, to all different kinds of places. But you'll notice that as the administrator of the page, you have the option of sharing to a group or sharing to a page. It's not that long list of options. And even when you click on share to a group, it's going to say, no, you don't have any groups unless you are the owner of a group that you have created. Other than that, you're not going to be able to post it to the Keller Williams group or any other group for that matter. The same thing applies when you go to share to a page. As an administrator, it's only going to allow you to share to pages that you are an administrator on. In this case, I've got those 3 or 4 pages. So I get calls often when working on a business page. How do I take the posts that I've done there and cross-post them to maybe the Keller Williams group or to another page? And the answer is really simple. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier about how you're interacting with the page. If you click your profile button here on the right, not your picture on the left, but on the right, and choose interact with this page as Robert Vincent, the ultimate administrator, then it's going to take away the restrictions of the page, and it's going to allow you to share to all of the places that you normally would. And this is a very important part of building your business page, because you're going to want to start to share this to your friends, to maybe Messenger, to a different group. And watch what happens when I hit share to a group this time. It's going to go to all of the groups that I, as Robert Vincent, am a member of. I'm not I'm an administrator on one, but all of these other ones are popping up in here and showing up. So if you ever intend to share a post that you've put on your business page, just remember to click your profile icon on the right and interact with the page as you, not the admin. How's that sound? Okay. All right. questions so far as we've built this page, and you can see here that it's starting to come to life. I've got a lot going on here. Any questions? Okay, a couple more things. When you go over here onto the tabs across the top, you'll see home, services, and if you don't have services, you got reviews here, shop, and maybe you don't need these things, right? If you don't want some of these things, if you want to manage this, if you click over on the right-hand side here, is it this one? Where is it? Wait. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong person. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was in the wrong person. I was in managing it as the ultimate administrator, not as the page administrator. When you click on the More button, when you're in administrator mode, you can edit the tabs. And a lot of people don't do this, and they end up with these tabs that are blank. And it's just like, you know, I joined the web design world in 1993, 94. In working with old Netscape Navigator and designing pages. And one of the worst things in the world was pages that said under construction or pages that went nowhere. So it's a lot more sophisticated now, but this is essentially the tool to shut off those tabs that you don't use. Don't use services, don't use reviews, don't use shop, don't use offers. Photos, sure. Yes, definitely events, not jobs. We don't need that on our page here. So that's cool. That works. Okay. So now that we've done that, if we go back, we'll see that our page is a lot more organized. Okay. And it fits really what our message is. Okay. It's going to take you some time to get through all of the different things that are on the left-hand side here and also in the settings. My recommendation is don't start sharing the page until you have maybe a handful, half a dozen different posts. And through the business manager, you can go and create those posts and schedule them out and kind of build the page over time. Sitting on having coffee on a Sunday morning at Starbucks, you can put all these posts together for the month and really kind of build the page. And then, of course, posting in between things that are happening and daily events and stuff like that. But having a schedule of posts really can make a difference. I'm going to quote someone. I don't know the name of the person that Jason always quotes, but he always talks about this one person who's done a lot of this marketing stuff. And they say it's a 3-to-1 ratio. For every 3 business posts, post something personal. Not something intimate personal, but something personal. So on your business page, it's advisable to go business, personal, something, you know, kind of touchy-feely, then business. This keeps people coming back and not looking at it going, oh my God, all I'm doing is getting hit by open houses. And let me tell you something. I see a lot of business pages where it's just property after property after property after property. And it just gets really boring because there's really nothing to see there, especially as someone who's in the industry. So I find it more engaging when people interject other things in there. And the same thing works on the other side, on your personal business or on your personal page. Personal, business. Personal, business. And this keeps people engaged and keeps people interested. Okay? Questions? Oh, go ahead. Come on, Dave.
So Robert, hey, I had a question about the business page and adding call to action buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I had some examples of other agents that have fully rendered versions, multiple buttons, and they're pretty amazing, but they're a little overwhelming. I don't know how to get started with the call to action button.
Okay, when you're in as an admin, the button it says here, add a button, as opposed to the call to action. So when you click this, it brings up the options that are available here. So you have follow, view gift card, and all these different ones down through here. My default one was send an email, but there are more. So there's use apps, play games, watch videos. So it depends on what you want to do. You said a moment ago that you know some people that had multiple call to action buttons at the top?
I'm not sure if they were call to action buttons or just links to different media that agent set up. But it's in an email that comes out about every month or so that highlights agents across the United States and some of the better looking Facebook cover pages.
I would love to
I'll
see.
send it over.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see, because I see when you add the first call to action, then the only option that I know of is edit the call to action. However,
Yeah.
you know, using other tools maybe on the left-hand side here for your page that I honestly, I'll full disclosure, I'm not a Facebook fiend. There may be some other plugins or tools that you can add to your page that allows that. As I mentioned about the links, in my case, I was only able to get a certain amount of links. I couldn't get as many links as I wanted to on the page. Like here, I just put a couple of them in here, but on the one that I reuse. So you notice how it says LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and then there's this one here for real estate. That's my category or business. I wasn't able to exceed that. And I wasn't able to make buttons out of them either. But again, not a Facebook guru here, not me. I'm using the tools that I'm seeing on the surface. But if you can send me that link, I would be curious, because making these pages engaging and interesting is key to the success of them.
Yeah, I'll send it over. I have a couple of them queued up.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
All right, you guys. David, reach out to me. You have my email address, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, reach out to me and let's chat. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for today, you guys. As always, I'll bring the little contact card up here, and if you are interested in getting in touch with me, it's robert.vincent@kwclm, and booking time on my calendar is timewithrobert.com. The Zoom room, which is this room, is kwtechtv.com. The YouTube channel with all of our cool videos is kwtechtube.com. And of course, KWCLM is the group in Facebook. And we will be seeing you all the next time. Bye.
Question. Oh yeah. I should really write my questions down.
Hey, there's a cool tool called Command that allows you to do that. So yeah, you can use Command and write your questions in Command.
Yeah, it couldn't have been that important, I suppose. I'm sure.